Hi everyone and welcome back to another video from Sisterly Conversations.
And we will be picking a topic which says, in these uncertain economic times, should I vacation, should I store up, invest, or enjoy my money? So I will start. I think this question has a lot of um question marks behind it because it I will talk about it in relation to age. Because for somebody like me who is young, me and Shanita who are young, um,
Or young-ish.
are young, but are young.
Cause
I don't know, you
the
ish.
young people, the
Oh yeah,
teenagers and
that's true.
the early 20s today will think we
Cause
are.
we are aunties.
Yep.
We are auntie tones and sure. But yeah, I would say like for us as young people, um, young adults going into adulthood, overly adulthood, I should put it as. I would say you can save your money, yes, invest as well, but also do some enjoying because back in the day, a lot of we would say what people wants to die out, but now you're finding that persons our age are dying too late. The other day, somebody like 35 years old back home died of cancer. Another young person just died of brain cancer, and it's like, where are we going today? How long will be our life expectancy and stuff? So, what I would say for the younger folks in our age group and in their 20s, 30s, 40s, right? I would say work hard, try to save, do a little investment, but also enjoy your money. As it relates on to persons now who are older, who have their homes, have their children, who just working now as a means of just to keep their mind occupied. I would say save some and spend some. This is just my opinion. Shinta might have a difference of opinion, but I would say enjoy your money more than ever because, as I said, life is going on so hard, and it's a case now that people are dying, and a lot of people dying as soon as they retire. A lot of people dying while working. I one of my colleagues from back home just passed away too, and it's hard to hear that. And I feel like all the folks who are on the verge of retirement should enjoy their money more because these days people are just dropping down like flies.
Yeah, this fly behind me, no, in front of me. I had a laugh just now how it zip fast, but keeping the world
Like
nice
keep it
too.
nice with you.
Anyway, um, when it comes to this topic, I find people still have the mentality of working, 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 and then they have this mentality of, oh, as soon as I retire, I can travel
Okay.
the world. I
Yes.
will go to all these places I wanted to go to, or if they had a subject that they wanted to study, or whatever they wanted to do. Sometimes you hear people say, I have my children and I had to raise them, so I didn't get to do things that I dreamed of doing, I wanted to do. But I would say this is, as Tony mentioned before, people are dropping down at such a young age today. The in some cases the old people are outliving
I'm
the
telling
young
you.
people.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes if you reach the age of 20 years old is a youth celebration because teenagers are also dropping down like flies. Whether it is because of violence, accidents. I find even in Barbados, I noticed the accidents were like claiming as well. If people weren't dying from gun violence, they were dying from
Were
accidents.
fatalities.
Um, and then of course there's the illnesses as well. And sometimes people don't even realize that they're ill. They just go along regular, and then unfortunately, then something happens and they die before you could even blink twice.
Mhm.
And it's because of that reason I don't feel like we can say no. Let's wait until retirement. Like, and also working, 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 not spending time with your family. not spending time with your friends, not enjoying or doing stuff that you enjoy, that also causes a level of stress, which also then causes health issues. So I just think that yes, it's important to invest, of course. I believe if you save, you're saving for a reason, because it makes no sense just having money in a bank
Correct.
storing up,
Mhm.
unless of course you're waiting for a specific thing. I'm not saying don't put money in a retirement fund like some people like to do that, but I'm saying in these days you don't even know if you're gonna make it to retirement,
Retirement age.
and that's
True.
the harsh reality that a lot of us have to face. It makes no sense. If you want to travel, travel.
Correct.
Even if you gotta turn around, pay back. Sometimes we look at tourists when I think of my country, we look at tourists. Even here in Canada too, which is my other country. Um, People come here and but I think more so of Barbados, because Barbados is mostly like the tourist destination. You see the sun, the sand, right? And other Caribbean islands as well. And we think these people, mostly white people, but I like to tell people that the only tourists are not white people. I remember when I went to Antigua with my boyfriend, um, me and him were on the beach. I'm straying a little bit from the topic, but me and him were on the beach, and a guy passed by with two or three other people, and because I was laying down on the beach chaired, he says, "Oh, look at the black tourists." I start laughing, and I look at my boyfriend, was like, "Are we not black tourists?"
All right then.
That
If you're not from the island, then you're a tourist, right?
exactly. I'm like, we're black, and we are tourists. That was our first time actually going to Antigua, right? I mean, yeah, you will see it as a CARICOM brother sister country, and obviously we embrace all of our Caribbean islands, and our people. But at the end of the day, if you've never been to the country, you're a tourist. So even if you have been to the country, you're still a tourist, unless you keep going and then you start to feel like family or like whatever. But but what was I saying? But yeah, so basically, if you want to travel, if you want to do whatever, even right, I was saying that even if you have to do it. All these people that we see that come to these countries don't always have the money right away to. It's not like they had the money in their back pocket to pay. Sometimes they borrow money
True.
from the bank to take these vacations, right? And I think it's so very integral that you do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, you don't want to either A, get too old and then look back and say, I should have, because by the time you reach 60 something, you have the world illness, right? Or diseases, and you can't really move. Like I said, like, my dad, he's 60 something, he just went through a stroke, right? Or you never even reach the age that you're expecting to go on on retirement and be able then to travel and do what you want to do. I remember somebody was telling a story online, and they said that this, I think the woman was a doctor or nurse or something, and she said that she had a patient and the guy died. And the woman was saying that throughout the entire time, the wife said throughout his whole life, she's been telling him, come, let's go on vacation. He always said, I'll go on vacation when I reach retirement. But he never reached, but at the exact time he reached retirement, I think a week or so later, after he reached retirement, he died. So that's the important thing, to make sure that you, during these young times, yes, you work, yes, you save up some money, but save up some money for a reason. If you want to buy a car, then make that your goal to save up for the car. If you want to buy a house, make that your goal. But don't just save up. And yeah, I know you say, you save for a rainy day too.
Excuse me.
But the rainy days sometimes, I don't know. Like yes, you can use the money and then save again. If you
True.
need to use it. So you can continue.
Sorry, guys. I sometimes I just stand and feel like I want cough, and then sometimes it does affect my eyes as well. So that's a part of the aging process as a young person. But what Shani just said is absolutely correct. Especially Even as life expectancy and pension goes up, especially in Barbados, I really don't know the process for up here. But each year, Barbados keeps going up to 67, 68, 69. At some point, it's going to reach 70. And why at 70 should I be still working just to collect a pension after, right? Um, but these things are stuff that you have to discuss within yourself because you have to know what you want out of life. And as Shanita said, it is a reality that we don't know if we're going to live to see the ages of the elderly. No, because things have just been happening rapidly. Things have changed from over the years. Things would have changed a lot. So I really struggle. Excuse me. But what I would say is to is to enjoy yourself. I feel like Rosemary. I feel like Rosemary. But anyhow, right. Catch myself.
That's exactly who I thought of just now when
Yeah.
you start doing that.
Yeah. But what I would say is try to enjoy your life as best as possible. Do not wait on retirement. I have seen many principals in Barbados who, as soon as they've collected the flowers and said, "Oh, congratulations on your retirement," quick saw their pass within a week, within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks, and stuff. So enjoy life. It to me at this point, like especially in your 50s, I don't see the need for you to be worrying about certain things. Your worries now should be which plane you're catching next, or which boat you're going on, or what new adventures you want to do, or what new course you would like to do, just to keep the mind occupied. So that's my 2 cents worth on it.
Yeah, and Tony says 50, but I feel like I said before, right through your ages, go on vacation. Even if you can't go um outside the country, go inside the country. Sometimes you might not be able to afford because you're living paycheck to paycheck, but even if it is if you could afford a low $50, or if you can't afford that, maybe take a little break, take a day off if you're working, and just spend some time at the beach or spend some time at the park or whatever, just to decompress. Um, but I think it's super important not to work, 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 work. Our bodies are not robots, and even at some point, you will see that a laptop or something that is robotic, so to speak, breaks down
True.
at some point. So
If you continuously keep working on it
right.
or
If
whatever.
you continue, at least if you continue to use it, it
Hmm.
breaks down eventually,
Hmm.
right? So we definitely should, definitely, regardless of the uncertain economic times, because I feel like that's something that you just can't control
Exactly.
at the end of the day. And this is again another topic. I always say another topic for another time, and then I forget about the topics. But as Tony mentioned before, just in case we don't come back to this topic, I don't believe that at 65, 66, 67, going into 70, a person should be working.
I agree.
I just think that A, if you work all this way up to a certain time, you should enjoy your life. I feel like even at in your 50s, but like, yeah, 50, you can still work, whatever. But when you hit 60, I feel like you should definitely now be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
True.
You should not now be continuing to work. And it sucks that the governments continue to raise the retirement age because it's not fair. People have been working and working and working and working, and they know that the age limit is now getting to the point of being cut off at an earlier age, right? Which means that if you're paying into a government fund in Barbados, NIS, for example, is NIS, right? Yeah, NIS. Um, at the end of the day, you might not even live to see the funds from NIS come back to
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
because the age has raised to that extent. And then the second part of that is when you continue to work till 70 and plus, then the young people that are coming up from from university or college or even from polytechnics and different things, they don't get a chance to come in and get a job because you are there filling the spot.
Exactly.
And some people, it's not even that they can't retire. Some people just refuse to retire because they know that they're in a workplace and they're running things and they're getting to do whatever they feel like doing in the workplace and nobody can tell them nothing because they've been there forever and they're stuck in their ways and they don't care nothing about what nobody gotta say. They just come to work with a face up, pull down and stretch out and look as grumpy as ever. Yeah, a customer walk in and start snapping and behaving how they want to behave. Y'all like they own the business and you begging them for a favor and then they go on home with a paycheck and other people need to come in and get with a professional attitude, customer service, new ideas, new inventions or interventions, whatever. You know, you need to merge out, and that might cross a couple of that might hit a couple of nerves. But at the end of the day, that's the truth because people are struggling and need to find work. And it's not always that people don't want to work. You can hear, oh, the young people don't want to work. That's not always the case. The ones that are older need to come out, and that is why the retirement age, the government should provide things for people that are reaching that age group so that the older people who have literally put in their time and effort and energy should be comfortably retiring, not having to worry about, oh my god, how am I going to pay my bills, or how am I going to pay for food, or whatever.
Well, I saw that my sister near catch his spirit for that, but she is absolutely correct. And I want to add one more thing in case she has another rampage to go on. But you see, this thing about the older people not leaving the work, that is going to cause significant issues in the future because this is what is going to happen. These old people are going to die out, and the younger folks will not be trained. And that's an issue too because training is very important. When you are onboarding a person to a workplace, you need to train them. Proper orientation is very important in a company and in a business. So if these old people have all the knowledge in the world about this particular job, how we as young people or the younger folks in their 20s and in their teens, how are they going to now do the work when everybody that was working there have all the knowledge and they die out and the knowledge dies with them? So these are things that are going to cause issues within the future. I think that we kind of stray off the topic, but I just needed to say that because I was having this conversation only today, and I was saying that the older folks need to leave, but they need to train folks, need to train the young people. And another issue too that the world is having is that the elderly, like Shinta would have said, is outliving the youth, and that is why the age for retirement keep raising because there's more now old people than younger people. So I mean, these are things that are going to cause more ruckus in the future, but these are things that we need to talk about and whatever. Anything else, my sister?
But basically, it kind of still links because if the reason why people feel so stressed about not vacationing and all these other things are enjoying their money is because they don't feel financially secure.
Right.
They don't want to go on vacation. Even investments. Some people, want to invest. Some people want to create their own businesses. They just don't have the avenues. Or sometimes people try to start a business, try to do different things. They don't have the support, and it's just unfortunate. But at the end of the day, I think when it comes to money, every aspect is important.
Right.
There must be a balance with everything. But at the end of the day, I think that whatever you choose to do or whatever your goal is in life, you should just go for it because you don't know if you're going to get the opportunity to go for it again.
True.
And so that is what I have to say about this topic.
Same here. So please leave a comment in the comment section letting us know what you think about this topic and how do you feel about it. And please continue to like,
share,
and subscribe. Until next time, bye.
bye.